great Tuesday. I'm Dr. Catherine Gilstein, and I am looking forward to empowering you with information about financial literacy and economic empowerment. I will continue to post on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, but I will be adding to my podcast since I have such great interviews lined up. Today, we're going to go a little bit different, and I am joined by Veronica Moyer, who is founder of Mindful V. And a while back, I did a podcast on money and mindfulness, but here we're going to talk about the importance of mental health, success, accomplishments. Veronica, thank you so much for joining me. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then let's get into the weeds of the importance.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. So yes, my background, I'm originally from Argentina. And I came to New York originally to be an actress on Broadway. It didn't work out that way quite. And, life took me in different directions. At some point, I think it was 2008, I discovered, wedding officiant. So that's something we don't have in my country. Long short, I became a wedding officiant. That was something, it was just so natural, so easy for me to do. And of course, it's noble. That business just took off. So I started officiating weddings for people in New York, and there's a lot of Hispanic community in New York. So I work with them. I mean, it got a life of its own. And then I created Wedding Packages NYC, which is an all-inclusive elopement company. We offer like Vegas-style weddings, like, destination quick weddings.
Nice.
So that has made me more successful than I ever thought, financially speaking. But parallel to that, I always have I have a big spiritual life. I am very spiritually connected since I can remember, since I was, 6 years old. A strong connection to the other side, let's say, to my soul, my spirit, the non-physical part of me. So I've always worked on that aspect parallel, and I've been teaching classes on mindfulness and meditation and develop your intuition. So I started working in that field in 2005. So I'll be honest, that wasn't like how I made my money. I made some money, but it wasn't. So truly, the weddings just took off and made me very successful to the point that I could, through that business, feed this other passion of mine, which is helping people. Helping people do what I did, because everything that I've accomplished in life, it has been thanks to my connection to my inside, my soul, my spirit, my gut feeling, my intuition. I believe that we are all of us, all living beings are very wise, and we intuitively know what's right for us and what's not. And we as humans are the only species who fight it. We don't use it as much because we are trained to use our intellect and intellect only, and do numbers and do,
and guess, and second guess yourself. Yes.
Right. And so that's what it's in overdrive. So because of that, I am on a mission to help young people. So I started with teenagers in 2010, 2011. I was invited to teach at the Omega Institute. They used to have a teens camp at the time. And I worked at that teens camp for one season, and it was amazing, mind-blowing. It was so good. I used to teach them. We had like psychic development classes every day. It's a woo-woo, new age type of camp. So all the kids were open to it, and it was great.
Nice.
And
important.
Yes, and it was very empowering. It was so fulfilling for me. So I started working with teens, and then when was it? I think it was during the pandemic. I started doing classes with OutSchool, where I teach children meditation and mindfulness. Then I got certified as a mindfulness teacher. Around, I study online.
Nice.
It was a pandemic, and then I went to the school. Public schools in New York City, and I taught long story short, 5 years old. I taught to 3-year-olds, I taught to 4-year-olds. And after all this time, I can confidently say the sweet spot, the right age to start with true mindfulness and true meditation is 5 years old. And now I am on a mission to help parents and adults understand the importance of this activity from a young age. Because if you develop this relationship with the self, this relationship with the all-knowing part of you, then you are more likely to have a very successful and fulfilled life and achieve things that you never knew you could achieve. So I'm sorry, I think I went on a tangent.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're nope, perfectly fine. Um, so when I think about mindfulness, I think about um, what is my inside? What is my intuition telling me? So I think about the same thing. So when I did my podcast on money and mindfulness, it goes back to when we're really young. It's how we were raised, who we were raised by, what we were taught when we were younger. Is money good for you? Is money bad? Is money evil and stuff like that. So the same way, money is so important. Nobody wants to talk about it. Mental health is so important, but very few people talk about it. So suicide rates are at an all-time high, especially for young men. And that's just a sad statistic. And I think even when, like I speak to my students, I understand them when they say, well, I just want to finish school. I want to get out. I want to make money. And I tell them all the time, if you chase the money, you'll constantly be chasing the money. You have to find out what's for you, what you're good at, what you enjoy doing. And once you find out what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, you put those together and marry them, then you can be successful because then you're working with a purpose. You're not just working for a check. And I always think that working for a purpose is always so much better. It's so much more fulfilling for me anyway. But how do you go about teaching success and accomplishments?
Yeah, so for me, the secret formula is meditation, but meditation got a bad rap. And especially when you're an adult already, there's a lot of pushback like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't meditate, which is so silly. It's almost like saying, I can't breathe. You're breathing all the time. It's just,
I
think
spend 5 minutes, if you're spending 15 minutes on your phone playing a video game, you could spend 15 minutes meditating.
I
So
know.
time is there. It's a
Yeah.
matter of
Oh, of
manage that
course.
time. So yeah.
Oh, they have the time. They just cannot
Absolutely.
quiet the mind.
Yeah.
So my experience with adults, and this is truly why I switched to young people a few years ago. Okay, when people ask me why the switch, and as I'm speaking about it, I get sad, emotional. I did a lot of work with adults from 2005 until practically 2015. And when I see the disconnection and the unwillingness to make a change, to try something new, to choose health, it's just, it was a non-starter. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like, it just felt like it's too late. And so that's why I switch to younger people, and especially with teens. They are at that sweet spot that it's just like I said, it's just opening the doors, and then your body will do the rest. And it is such a fulfilling experience, such an eye-opening and aha moment for them, that once they have that experience, there's, you don't have to convince anybody, you don't have to explain. But that's also what makes this so tricky, because for people to get what I'm saying, they have to experience. I have to be there, and you have to be willing to sit down, close your eyes, take a deep breath. And, I do a lot of guided meditations. And my purpose when I teach these classes is for them to train the brain, train the mind to live a beautiful life, to allow them to do the things that make them happy. Because again, that's what I think we're here for. You're meant to be happy always. everything will work out for you, which is also a truth that nobody thinks about. We are programmed to struggle and work hard and try and try and try and try. And so my work is a little bit of reprogramming, and I like to work with kids because when you're a child, this is when you're getting programmed to then later be who we are, right? And
Absolutely.
You know how we are. We have the negative self-talk, the insecurities, the self-defeating thoughts, it's there. And now all the things that we know with science, we know that 95% of our actions and our behavior and what happens to us is run by our subconscious. So when you're a child, you're being told no, and you get scolded, you get, you get all this
Absolutely.
very often. And this is when we need a sandwich. We need to what's the word? What's the word I'm trying to say? When you offset that program, like, don't let that programming get in there, get too big. So if your mom and your teachers and your peers are freaking out every now and then, which happens and it's very normal, say, no, what do you do? Don't go there, which is again normal. But from a child's perspective, the child internalizes that, and immediately when you get yelled at, there's a reaction in your body, in your breath.
Especially that young, yes.
Yeah, and then that stays with you. And then 20 years later, you have some issues with certain things and you wonder why. Like, yeah. And like you said, your parents talking about money. Hello, I was raised Catholic, and my grandmother constantly, I mean, it was like a mantra. The kingdom of heaven is of the poor. So if you have money, you're a bad person. If you have money, you don't go to heaven. If you have, and she would be dressed in rags, and she was fine. She was middle class. It was just, I mean, when you think about it, it was so ridiculous. But here we are, but you live.
And you don't think about it. But yes, all of those things when we're growing up, of, who we're raised by, who we associate with, where we go to church or synagogue or worship or whatever, where we go to school, whether it's public school or private school, all of those things take an influence and shape who we are and who we become. So I did another podcast episode, and the name of that was Shut Out the Noise. And I think that's just such a great thing. And I think Kevin O'Leary said it from Shark Tank. He's a little brutal, but I like him. Anyway,
Me
but
too.
he says it, shut out the noise. And you just need sometimes to just calm yourself, clear your head, no distractions, and just take 5 minutes to breathe and think about what it is that I'm actually doing. It's kind of like getting an email that you don't like and responding right away. Never respond right away. Always wait 24 hours. If it's an email and that irks you, wait 24 hours, go back to it, and then look at it. Don't
That is
respond
amazing
right away.
advice. That is, everybody who's listening and young people, they should write, because I've done that so many times. I am very impulsive, as if you can tell.
Yes.
I made so many mistakes.
Yes. Oh, we all have, but yeah, that's something I heard a while back. But I think that's very important to just give yourself some grace and just take some time to just relax, reflect, see where you are, and then move forward. Because like you said, it will work out, but when we're agitated, when we're stressed, when we have the pressure on us to, do so much in our work, in our life, and everything else, then that's when we become agitated and we don't know what to do. So that's when you need to take the time to stop and think and say, okay, what's priority? What do I need to do now? What is the next step? What should I be doing? And I think that's just so important.
Yes. So for young people, just to know that you have this ability inside of you. Your body is self-healing and it is all-knowing. Give it a chance to show it to you. And like you said, the only way to access this information is by being quiet and finding peace within yourself. If this makes you that uncomfortable, then you know there's an issue here. There's something that it's not all right. It's not right. It's like someone saying, I cannot walk. I get up and I fall. Well, something's wrong with your legs or with your nervous system. Something is wrong. It can't be.
Right.
It can't be. So this is the same. If being quiet by yourself and just breathing, just 3 deep breaths, if that makes you that uncomfortable, then okay, we need a timeout, and you need to reevaluate and see things. And just, I mean, if I were you, if you're the person who's having that hard a time at meditating and say, I can't meditate, make it a point to sit 5 minutes. I say just 5 minutes a day, but consistently, just like going to the gym, just like brushing your teeth, just, you don't brush
Absolutely.
when your teeth are rotten, you brush so they don't get a cavity, right? This is the same. Consistency is key. And in the beginning, I promise you're not going to like it. You're going to be fidgeted, and you're going to, oh, I'm thinking about other things. I can't concentrate. That's okay. And one of my teachers I used to have, I enjoy the guided meditations, and that's what I do now. But she used to always say, little thoughts may come up. That's okay. Just go back and focus on your breathing. And for me, like when I was younger, I was trying to lose weight. I could never lose weight on my own until if I paid for a service, then I'll lose weight. It wasn't anything new, but if you pay for it. So with this is the same. If you need to hire some, there's a TM. I did that too. TM is very expensive, transcendental meditation, but maybe that's why they do it. They charge you to teach you the meditation, and then you do it. You better do it because you paid so much. So whatever works for you, whatever you need to do, I highly recommend it. And then, so what I do, in addition to that, I like to include like some psychic development, sixth sense development exercises, because that's like a dessert after a beautiful meal or a healthy meal. So let's say you had to eat healthy and you're eating boring food, but then there is a delicious dessert. So like, oh yeah, you're looking forward to this. So this is kind of this is the reason why we meditate. This makes, I think it kind of makes sense. It makes it worth your while. Worthwhile. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. So because then you understand, you say, oh, I get it now. What are you doing when you meditate? You awaken all of your senses, all of your possibilities, all your magnificency that you have inside. We all do. We have the best computer inside of us. And so obviously with the suicide, and you'll be shocked. So I wrote a book, it's a children's book, and it's about this soul that comes and becomes a person, us, right? Deciding to have a life on earth and a life as a person. And he doesn't like it, and he wants to go back, which is what dying is, right? Go back to the non-physical, go back to your soul and not deal with all of this. I get it. Would you believe, like my 5-year-olds in the kindergarten class, one of the kids says, I want to die. And he was a popular kid. He was super sweet, very nice, I think he had 2 nannies, which indicates that the parents were not that involved. But besides that, I could understand the need for going back to what your soul knows to be peace and beautiful. So why I teach this is because you don't need to leave your physical body. You can be there anytime, any place. So as soon as you learn this trick, then you don't want to leave anymore. You don't want to die anymore. And this is the only way. As we know you cannot convince anybody of their worth, of their beauty. They have to know this, and they know it by going within. If not, I mean, I always talk about Robin Williams was the most shocking suicide right? He was beloved. He was incredible, so charismatic. and
Mm-hmm.
successful. And so what? He didn't think so. He didn't feel that
Right.
way.
Right.
Uh, so
That's
this
true.
is why this
And that's
activity,
why what you said earlier, the meditation, in the beginning, it can feel a little awkward and a little bit weird, but it's just that 5 minutes every day, and it's the consistency. And that's the key. And once you do it consistently every day, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, then your body will get used to having that 5 minutes to breathe. The same way when you are running ragged and you're burning candles at both ends, so to speak, and working and doing stuff and take care of kids and school and everything else that you have going on, what happens? You get sick. Why do you get sick? That's your body telling you you're doing too much. You need to slow down. So the body does know, the intuition is there. So that's just so helpful.
of course, we are not
Hmm.
worse than the animals. The animals
Hmm.
know instinctively. They know what they had to migrate. They know what they
Hmm.
had to do instinctively, not because they
We
did math,
know as well.
and
No,
we know
we
as
know
well.
as well, but it's, when the intuition kicks in, we second guess, we think about
Mhm.
it, we contemplate it, we go back and forth, and it's, you just need to say, just give me a minute and let me just think about what is actually going on around me.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add? Where can my listeners find you?
Oh, yes. My name is Veronica Moya, Moya. I'm very easy to find on Google.
Hmm.
I do have a YouTube channel that is for kids. However, I invite you to just go check it out and tell me what you think, because I
Hmm.
believe everything I post there is for everybody. And when I go to the schools and I do my guided meditations, the teachers love it. Everybody's
Nice.
doing it. So I think it's, yeah, you can do it. I have some playlist, which is 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes of gratitude. So it's a gratitude
Nice.
guided meditation. Very silly, very simple. And again, it's just planting the seed, is making that decision of, okay, I'm going to go within and I'm going to honor my soul, my spirit. And then your body will help you. Your body will know. It's just, it's knowing, if you eat at the same time every day, it gets to that time and you're hungry. It's like your body's like, oh, what happened? I didn't get.
Hmm.
So
Right.
this
Where's
is
my
this,
5 minutes?
right,
And,
right.
and and I say it all the time. Taking care of yourself, it's not selfish. It's called self-interest. Because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of everyone around you.
Yeah, that's
So.
that's that's a wonderful thing that you brought up. And this is
Hmm.
exactly part of my mission and my explaining that if you don't love yourself, if you don't appreciate yourself, then
Hmm.
you're going to be a crappy person. If you think about it, everybody who misbehaves, and I misbehave many times, I've been short with people and mean, um,
Hmm.
it's because they're miserable inside. That's it. Like if I'm frustrated and so then I'm gonna be short with my husband. But why? Because I'm unhappy. So that's an extreme, right? But in everyday life, if you don't appreciate yourself, if you don't love yourself, and learning self-love is the hardest thing for us humans to do. We are so accustomed to self-deprecate, to criticize,
Hmm.
and it's so harmful, and we don't notice. It's normal. But if
Hmm.
you can better yourself, your relationship with yourself, then you are a better person to be around. You are nicer to others. You're more loving, and you're more empathic and more understanding with others.
Yeah,
If you,
more
you know,
accepting. Absolutely.
mm-hmm,
Agreed. Thank you so much. Um,
sure.
so remember, there's not a one size fits all for anything. So visit my website, set up some time with me to help you create a personalized action plan based on your current financial situation. No matter where you are in your career, you deserve to have representation. Be open to learning, be open to listening, ask questions. What more do you want to know? Remember, be invaluable for what you share, not what you know. See you next time on your 18 Now What, where you can always find the latest podcast to listen to, follow, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, Veronica. It's been great. And all my listeners out there, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.